chicken mayonnaise sandwiches. I've made 2 videos on Mr. Silvertooth before, but now I've got to make a 3rd one because my first video was 10 days ago. It was dedicated to Mr. Silvertooth, and I called it Bottom Signal. And it was Mr. Silvertooth actually mentally capitulating. Mr. Silvertooth, you can watch this video if you like. I'll leave it in the description. It goes through Mr. Silvertooth and going through this. And I've also recently made another video going through his whole story. But in this story, I was under the assumption that he would stay to his word. He said he was holding at the time. But now he's moved on from mental capitulation to actual, real capitulation. Mr. Silvertooth will explain in his own words. Mr. Silvertooth, I am all in on stable coins. When Bitcoin hits $11,000, I'm going to re-enter the market. I've done the maths and 11,000 checks out. He's actually out now. Wow. Bullish for me. This is great. If you're listening, Mr. Silvertooth, please, we really need you, sir. We got to get Pumpermental green hair, please. All right. We got to get Pumpermental green hair, and we got to fix this attitude of everything's going 90% lower from here. This is not going to help anybody. You held this long. You can't possibly tell me after I make these really easy videos and I show you Hex's launch at the start where it had 3 red weekly candles and then things started bottoming out and we kind of recover up. You can't be telling me that now here you are saying, yep, this time is different, this time is different. Like, this is very dangerous. I'm just, Mr. Silvertooth, if you are listening to this, please. I'm not saying you sold the low, but if you did, and the price next week, say after you sold the low, in the next 7 to 14 days, if the price is double from where you've sold, which is about this candle, you've already lost, best case, 30 to 40% of your quantity of your bags. This is really dangerous. So, for example, if someone had 100 million PulseX and they sell, they'll only be able to get like 70 million back. And you're not going to know what the pain is like until 2.5 years comes and maybe we're up 100x higher. And you're like, oh, wow, okay, I gave away 30% of my bags. Think about somebody who had 100 Bitcoin. Imagine there was a point they lost 30 Bitcoin. How would you feel about that? It's like $1 million, right? What's going to happen in the future as Bitcoin keeps rallying? You're going to feel even more pain. So you have to think about it from this perspective. Now, Mr. Silvertooth sacrificed for PulseX, if I remember correctly, and PulseX is now doing this 3 red weekly candles. Yes, of course, it can go down more. I'm not telling you, mate. We can go straight to negative numbers. See, this is negative numbers. But it's a trial by fire. There is so much fire going around. It's supposed to be grilling your yummy chicken mayonnaise sandwich. And yes, there's going to be a salad to wash it down. Hope you got your orange juice, 3 ice cubes. You can't look at this fire and say, oh, I'm going to get burnt by it. You have to look at the fire and say, we're going to make a nice barbecue. That's how you have to be approaching these. You can't tell me that after all this time, now you're like, well, it's actually poop now, guys. You can't, man. When you go into this, you can't possibly believe it's rational to do these things. To say, well, I'm all out, like, why'd you have to get all out? Why not 20%? Why not 30%? Do you have a plan to get in? This is what, so friends, when I'm showing you this, there's a lot of information. I help here, I'm a messenger to tell you. This is super dangerous when you start speaking in absolutes here like this, okay? So the absolute is, I'm all out when Bitcoin hits 11K. So he does not say, so when you do these, this is how people end up fumbling everything, all right? He does not have a plan. He did not say, if Bitcoin hits 11K, I'm back in. He also didn't say, if Bitcoin goes to 37,000 next, I'm going to rebuy whatever the market price is for PulseX or PulseChain. He does not have a plan to get back in. So in his mind, he can't be wrong. That's it. So I'm also going to play devil's advocate. You're probably wondering, excuse me, Mr. Peanut Brain. Excuse me, Mr. Peanut Brain. What about your plan? I go, yeah, well, I told you from day one, this can go to 0. Everything in crypto can go to 0. Yeah, those 3 red weekly candles can become 3 million weekly candles of red. We know the game. The game is to hold through time. I get out in 2.5 years. A lot of people, they have tiny little sultana balls. They have tiny little ovaries. They can't possibly imagine someone sticking to their word who says, Is it 2.5 years yet? Is it December 2025? No? Okay. Stop putting this junk information in front of my face. I don't care. I don't care. It is like, the best example I can give you, all right? It is like you are raising a child. You're literally raising a child, all right? You have a young little son, all right? You have a little son here. And he's 4 years old. And your son is in a little car. And here you are saying, oh my God, you can't drive for poop, son. You are the worst driver. You're hitting the walls. You got food on your hands. You didn't even indicate before you turned left in the hallway. You are trash. Imagine calling your little son, 4-year-old son, trash. Okay. What would a baby doll with a peanut brain say if they came around? So we have a little peanut here. If, let's say, a friend of yours came over and said, hey, how about we wait until your son turns 18 before we evaluate his car driving abilities? How about that? You might say to him, I agree, because you should. Because how can you possibly go against that? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about here when we're looking at Pulse, PulseChain, Hex, all of crypto, everything in crypto, friends. Every single thing in crypto. It goes for everything. All right, I have all these bags here. It's all the same game. Here is ChainLink. It's the same thing. People are saying, oh, ChainLink's down, ChainLink's up. I don't care. Is it here? Is it December 2025 yet? See here, December 2025. Okay, December 2025, we're going to be anywhere from here, from $2 all the way to $200. Somewhere here. Okay, are we in this golden rectangle of friendship? No. All right, so everything you say is useless. It literally means nothing. This is the attitude you must have if you want to make it. If you don't want to make it, click sell. Just click sell and leave. Do everybody a favor. That's just how it goes. But if you want to make it, that's how we have to go through this game. Starting to try to predict all these. I mean, I have this chart here. Imagine you had this attitude in the first 30 days of Hex launch. Who is the same founder as the Pulse and PulseChain guy? It's the same dude, Richard Hart. It's not a new founder. It's not new conditions. It's not new. It's literally one for one the same. There was an ICO money. There's 20x. There was 20 times more people participating. There is 20 times more money raised. He has done a low liquidity launch. It is going down the same. There are these teething errors. There are some things that magically appear. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is just a sequence of things happening. Like nothing's different. Literally nothing's different. It's literally copy, paste. And here I am telling you, well, you know, you might be sitting at the bottom of the poopy zone. Okay. This is the attitude you need this. If you don't talk like this, who's going to do it for you? Okay, I know you come here, listen to me, like, subscribe, bell button, and all. But at the end of the day, you still have to make that decision for yourself. Okay, so here we have, look, Mr. Silvertooth, when your bags will be down 75 to 95% when I enter the market. So effectively, what he's doing is, again, I remember Mr. Silvertooth, wanted to sell for his 10x in his mind. He said that, by the way. So Mr. Silvertooth wants to sell on a 10x. So this is a very common investor thing. We always have these dreams when we do it ourselves. Okay, so we go, okay, I will be able to buy minus 80% lower from here. So what he ends up doing is he gets to now increase his bag size by 5x. You see what I mean? If you buy something down 80% or 90% lower. So if he can buy something 80 to 90% lower, when it goes up, when PulseX, this is his dream, okay? His dream is from here. So I'm going to show you right now. He thinks we're going down. Oh, he thinks we're going down like right here. Okay, he thinks we're going down like right here. So he thinks he's going to buy here. And then when it goes to his actual eventual real target, which I'm going to draw it to you right now, which is all the way there, he's not going to be 10x on side anymore. He's going to be 50x on side. So that is why people have these scenarios drawn up. They think this scenario where they get out, it capitulates even more, and they get in, okay? Reality is obviously very far from this. Have you ever seen people do this? I want to see. Have you heard one single story? Have you heard of one single story? I'm trying to find a story. Where is that person? Like, I got out, everything capitulated, minus 95%, I bought back in. Now, I'm sure they exist, but for every 3 people that do this, there are 20,000 success stories of people who just bought and held. So what about all the 20,000 people who tried it and didn't work? You know, they didn't make it. So it's all about putting the odds in your favor. So at the end of the day, friends, Mr. Silvertooth, I made the videos. Not only has he done a mental capitulation, he's actually physically capitulated. I'm just letting you know, man, you're playing with fire here. You're playing with fire. This is my game. My game is to do with the calendar, okay? My game is not like his ChainLink. I'm telling you right now. Well, our game is just to get here. That's it. I don't know. So people think, okay, people think if you didn't know it was going to go down before it went up, then everything's gone here. Doesn't matter. What you really should be looking at is just go, this should be a ChainLink chart, for example. This should be a ChainLink and Hex chart. Just like this. You can't see anything on the left. You just sit here in this world. That's the way to approach it, friends. If you want to make it, if you want to have the least mental stress and you want to optimize yourself for the game, this is how you win. But for everything else, they're actually distractions. That's enough for today, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, button, all. Tell mum and dad we're still going to make it December 2025.